Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Catching Up with Cope podcast. Cope is the Coalition of Parents in Esports, a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides programs and scholarships to empower youth, parents, and educators to utilize gaming to build confidence, curiosity, community, and careers. I'm your host, Friday, and today I am here with Sheridan. Sheridan is the founder of College Esports News and a digital media producer for Stay Plugged In. Sheridan, thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me and inviting me. I'm really excited.
Of course. I had mentioned this to you earlier, but you were just like, everything that you're doing in this space right now is so influential and important. And as someone who's in collegiate, I'm so inspired by you. So I'm so glad that you're here. I kind of want to just start by digging in a bit into your background and sort of what first got you involved in esports and gaming.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short because it's a pretty long story. I discovered esports in 2018 when I got to Florida State University. I had always been a big gamer, but I didn't know that you could compete. I didn't know there was money. I didn't know any of it. And so I was kind of randomly introduced to the world of esports. In April 2019, I decided to run for social media manager of Florida State Esports because I noticed that we were lacking on graphics and just overall our social media presence could have been better. So I got that. That was really awesome. And from then on, I met a lot of really awesome people, including Ashton, Maria, Justin, Ziva. We'll probably get into that more in later, but met them through Overwatch, which is really exciting. I started a quest of which esport is right for me. So I played Hearthstone, Rocket League, not good at either of those. Then okay. I played Overwatch and I ended up being semi-decent. So that was pretty awesome. That's how I got into esports. I graduated in December 2020 and then started my professional career in college esports. I'm not sure how far you want me to go into that, so I'll just leave that off there.
No worries. I want to go back before we even get into it because you said that their social media was lacking. How did you have was that sort of something that you were interested in originally? Were you interested in social media? Were you interested in design, anything like that, or were you just this could be better?
It's a mix of both. So okay. I was not super interested in social media. I had a Twitter, but I wasn't how to make this Twitter into something professional. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but when I was younger, I used to be a Minecraft YouTuber. That was what I wanted to do. So I had skills in video editing, recording videos, and then I was also part of my high school's yearbook club class. And so I got graphic design skills and photography skills from that.
Wow.
Self-taught graphic designer. And so I kind of wanted to use all of those skills in this role. And then I kind of picked up on all the social media aspects, writing copy, best practices, if you will, after that.
No, yeah. That's awesome. And listen, I grew up watching Minecraft YouTubers and pretending that I was one. So I completely hear you. I totally get that. Kind of bouncing off of that, because I know you did. I have seen, okay, obviously I've looked at your YouTube channel in preparation. So I know that you have done content. Was that the spark for it? Because I know that some of your content is more informative and you go into some detail about YouTubers and where they've been, where they've got where are they in the world today, that sort of thing. How did you kind of get to that point, and was that from you wanting to be a Minecraft YouTuber?
Yeah, so that's really random. I've never talked about this, so this is really funny. For context, I started a TikTok account. I used to just watch a lot of TikToks, but I'm super into the genre of YouTube that's video essays. That's my thing. And so I was really bored in, I think, December 2021. I wanted something to do outside of my job. So I was well, I wonder what these Minecraft YouTubers are up to. It's been so long since I've watched them. And, I'm just gonna, hi Munchkin. I'm just gonna write this video essay. And at the end of the video essay, I went through like YouTuber by YouTuber saying what they were doing now. And I ended up cutting that up into like 7 different TikToks. I posted the first one, it was fine. It got a couple of like likes or whatever. The second one I posted got almost 100, not 100, almost 1 million views.
Wow.
And people were like, "Oh my God, I forgot about that person. Like, what happened to them?"
Yeah.
Sorry, my cat
No,
really
it's
wants to be a part of this. Hold
it's
on.
okay. We always welcome a new friend on the podcast.
Okay. Where was I?
So you said that so many people were commenting like where was this
Yeah.
YouTuber, like that sort
And
of
so
thing.
I kept posting, and like I used the momentum of that first one getting. It started out as like 600K views, and it got to 800K views, and so I posted another one, and that one rode off the success of the last one. And so people started giving requests like, "Oh, can you talk about this person? Can you talk about this person?" So it kind of became this whole thing where people would give requests, and then I would make the videos and then post them. I did write a couple of other video essays for YouTube because I wanted to get monetized on there. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. Like when I was younger, I would do like little Minecraft gameplay videos like I was talking about, and they were so cringy. But, you know, if that version of me could see what I've done now, I think she would be really excited. So
Absolutely.
I'm not going to clown on her too much. They were a little cringy though. All this to say, I have taken a break from YouTube because so busy with school. I don't go to school. I don't know why I even said that.
It's okay. I do that same sort of thing.
I have taken a break from YouTube because I'm so busy with work, and CEN has obviously taken up so much of my time. But I do want to get back into it because I do like it. I like being creative in that way. And I don't know, that's my little niche world that I like, Minecraft YouTubers talking about that stuff. But I'm also old, and so I'm like not up to date with all the newer Minecraft YouTubers and stuff. So I don't know. I also like to make video essays about like childhood MMOs. So I used to play a lot of those growing up, like Toontown, Wizard 101, that stuff.
Love.
And just talking about how I did like a whole video essay about how it's really not about the games, it's really about the communities that spark from those games.
Absolutely.
And how that's really impactful. Yeah.
No, I think
the question, I don't even know what the question was.
Yeah, I mean, because I really was just like sort of interested in how you got into that, and you answered it perfectly, talking about how you like those sorts of videos that are informative and like those sort of video essay style formats, which I think is awesome. I love listening to those, and so I think that that's so cool, and that it sparked from you and your love for Minecraft YouTubers, because I like totally get it. Like that's like those are like videos that I would stumble upon and look for on social media. So I think that's awesome, and now I kind of want to go back a tiny bit and talk more about you and college, and then sort of kind of going into your career. So like, did you have a set career path prior to entering this field, or was it just when you started getting involved, like in esports in college, then all of a sudden you were like, oh, okay, I think I know what I want to do? Or did you want to be like, I don't know, like an author? Just threw that one out there.
I love that you said that, because what I'm about to tell you is that for like 18 years of my life, I really wanted to be an author. You really did your research. I don't know.
I just pulled that out of nowhere. I was just like, I'm feeling the energy. Whoa.
I mean, if you can see all the books in the background, I spent a lot of time. I've always had these like aspirational goals of like, I want to be an author, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be clearly creating something and having some sort of impact on a community. I just always wanted to. And my parents were always like, yeah, go for it. They weren't like, hey, that's not realistic, or, set your mind to something different. I had teachers who were like, you're more likely, not me, but someone's more likely to go into the NFL than to become an author.
Whoa.
And I'm
that's
like,
a statement.
I can't get into the NFL at all. So, like, so maybe I can become an author.
Yeah.
used to participate in something called National Novel Writing Month. I participated from
Yeah.
middle school was my first one. When I was in sixth grade, I wrote like 20,000 words. And then throughout high school, I participated every single year writing 50,000 words all the way up until my freshman year of college. I was very fortunate to be able to do my entire first year abroad in London.
Wow.
It's a program that Florida State University has where you can do your first year in London, Valencia, or Florence, and then you get your next 3 years in-state tuition. Because I'm
Wow.
from Chicago, I'm not from Florida, so getting that in-state tuition was
Institution,
really important.
for sure.
But I did my first year in London and I joined a writing group, and truly it was like the peak of my life. It was so much fun, and especially from like a writing perspective, like getting to meet all these different people from different backgrounds who I had so much to learn from was really awesome. And so basically until 2018, I was like, yeah, I'm going to become a writer. I could work in publishing. I could, even if I can't be an author, like I could help authors. I could do this, I could do that. And it like really wasn't until like 2020 that I was like, oh, I could maybe go into esports. That's so random. Maybe I could do that. And I kind of put all of the publishing and all that aside in like 2020. I didn't apply
Wow.
to any internships for publishing. I didn't apply for any jobs in publishing. I just was like, all right, well, we're gonna go all in on this if I can. So yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's so funny that you said author because like that's exactly what I wanted to do. So
that's literally crazy. But I think it's so cool that you really did just like kind of like throw yourself into it. Like that's passion. That's like, you were like, I feel this, I can do this. And I find that always inspiring because that's, sort of that's kind of the path that I'm going on right now. And also that writing month that you're talking about, the 50,000 words, I swear I used to watch people on YouTube like document that month. And like I've never wanted to be a writer or anything like that, but like I loved watching those YouTube videos of people being like, here's my writing routine in the morning for the month or whatever. Like I ate those up.
I loved BookTube as well. That was a big part of what I loved to watch as well. So
BookTube is
yeah,
so
there was
real.
like one girl that I watched. She did like BookTube, and then in November she would do like vlogs of National Novel Writing Month, and I was like,
Yes, the vlogs. Yeah,
that's me.
I love
Like,
it.
I want to be you. So it's so awesome. I got to meet her.
Oh, okay.
Her name's Tastic. She was really awesome. She was huge back in the day, like 2014.
Yeah.
And with National Novel Writing Month, they used to do this like event in San Francisco where you could buy a ticket. All the money goes towards the organization, which is also a 501c3.
Yeah.
And it would be a night of writing. They would serve you dinner.
Oh my God.
And you would write from like 6 p.m. until like midnight. And I'm so lucky to have parents who have always supported me. My dad took me 2 years. And at the second year, she was there and I got to meet her. And I was like, oh, I love your videos. You inspired me. You inspired me to like do NaNoWriMo. That's how I found it through her. And so that was really cool. Such a really cool moment.
No, yeah, that's
That
awesome.
was so long ago, though. That was like 2016. God, that's almost 10 years ago.
Sheridan, earlier you said you were like, I'm old. You're not that old, Sheridan. You're not old at
feel
all. You are literally not.
I feel old. I feel pretty old, but
You know what?
I'm not that old.
You are not old. Like there's a lot that happens in each year that can make you feel like you're getting older, but I promise you're young. I'm saying I'm literally younger than you, and I'm like, girl, you're young, don't worry. But I'm so glad to hear that you have supportive parents, and that they always like supported what you wanted to do and what you believed in. And that's kind of where I want to kind of get into with College Esports News, because I think you spoke really exactly to what College Esports News is doing. So for anyone that doesn't know, can you explain what College Esports News is?
Yep, I will give my spiel that I give in every meeting.
Yes.
College Esports News is an organization that we founded in October 2022. I started it because I got laid off from my previous job, and I've always been passionate about college esports and specifically about college esports news. I've always wanted to like highlight what students are doing and just show off things from my favorite leagues. And so I roped my college friends into creating this organization with me. And I decided that I was going to do it until I got a job or until I got bored. And I got a job and I never got bored. So we're still here. We're still kicking. We primarily make videos about college esports news. As we've discussed in this podcast so far, video is my medium that I love a lot. I consume a lot of videos, so I like to make videos. And so we started as primarily making videos about college esports news, and now we've expanded to graphics. It's primarily what we do, I guess. And then written pieces now. So that's really exciting.
Which is awesome, and so exciting. I mean, on Twitter, a lot of the graphics can easily go, like, I say, like, Twitter viral, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when there's stuff going down, College Esports News is, like, the first to have that information. So, because you said, like, literally, like, 23 seconds ago, you were, like, you specifically, like, had this sort of angle of reporting on news. Did you, like, previously ever, like, had you written articles previously for, like, anything? Like, had you had any, like, background of news at all? Or was this just, like, you're just like, yeah, I want to uplift the students in the space?
Yes and no. Like I said earlier, I was in my high school's yearbook class/club, and we did have to write some articles in our yearbook. I wish I had one. I could show it. I designed the cover for one of them, which is really awesome.
That's so cool.
But I did a lot of interviews with like I covered like band and theater and hold on, I'm getting a phone call. I'm just gonna I did a lot of interviews with band kids and theater kids. I took pictures at some football games, but I never interviewed any football players. So I kind of had that background of interviewing. But I guess a key piece of this that I'm not mentioning is in the summer of 2020, this random Twitter account popped up, and it was called Click Start You. And it was the first account/platform that was making graphics and tweets about college esports news. And I was so interested in it because I was very involved in the college esports space, especially on Twitter, because I was a social media manager. And so I felt that the space was really lacking an account like that, an account that spreads news and highlights accomplishments and all that kind of stuff. So I had reached out and I was like, hey, this is really awesome. Who are you? Who is running this? I need to know what organization. How do I get involved? How do I do something like this? Ended up getting a job from that. Very long story that, depending on your questions, we can go into. But that kind of sparked the idea initially, all the way back in 2020. That account doesn't exist anymore. That project got sunset. And so once I got laid off, I was like, well, that was the reason I wanted to work at this company. I wanted to work at this company to work on the Click Start You account. Didn't end up getting to do that really, which is whatever, but I was like, this account doesn't exist anymore, but it really was impactful. And I want to take up the torch and like continue it myself. But not really any background in news, in writing articles like that or making videos like that. I had made, informative pieces on YouTube, if you will, about Minecraft YouTubers, but nothing of this like sort of scale. Yeah, no, I mean, it seems like you've been combining like lots of different parts of your life and things that you've done to get to this place, and were originally inspired by someone else and other people trying to sort of do that same sort of thing that now College Esports News does. And
And you said depending on the questions we can get into it, but was there something specific about that position, about that job for you that you can speak more to getting you don't if you can't, you don't have to.
I can. For those who know, I used to work at a very infamous college esports tournament operations league kind of thing. We ran Madden tournaments and Rocket League and maybe a Twitter competition here or there. Infamous for sure. Um, I joined, like I said, I had originally joined or wanted to join this company because of their initiative with Clickstart U. Of course, when I joined, that's not really what they wanted to focus on because that didn't have any money in it. Whereas like running tournaments is more something that you could either like monetize like, with sponsors and stuff. And so where do I want to go? Where do I want to go from here? Okay. It's a touchy subject, I guess.
You don't have to speak to any like you don't have to speak on it if it's too touchy of a subject. I have more questions.
The thing I do want to say about this job is like a lot of people, it was very online. So something I spoke about a lot at the time is that, you know, if you are a random accountant, like your job is not, if you make a mistake, your job is not blasted all over social media.
True.
Whereas like in esports, it's very online. So as social media manager at this company, in this role, I got to see firsthand a lot of the criticisms and like things that people had to say. And a lot of the things that people had to say were valid criticisms that a lot of which I agreed with. However, having to see that on a daily basis was really hard. And like, I find it hard to disconnect me from like professional me.
Yeah.
And so that was really, really hard for a long time because, you know, instead of people seeing me as, oh, just this person who's really passionate about college esports, I was always that person from that company. That's hard. But I kind of like to think of college esports news as my redemption arc. Not that I need a redemption arc. I'm not a public villain. I'm not an enemy.
No, of course not.
Did my responsibilities and roles as I was supposed to, and
Yeah.
I pushed back on things that people didn't like. Like I didn't like the Twitter competition either.
Yeah.
I tried my best to get that, like to stop doing those, but I was the lowest person on the totem pole, so you don't always get what you want. But I don't know. I've always struggled with separating those two identities.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard having a social media role, like something that's so online, where like people can just,
Yeah.
I don't know. Having to see that every day was hard for me personally, and I'm, you know.
No, I bet. I mean, I've actually like it's so interesting that you bring that up because that's something that I've recently really discovered because someone literally tweeted being like Twitter people, like you have to remember that the people running the social media like that's like not them. Like that is them working for a company that calls a lot of the shots. And so like it's very interesting and I think important that you said that, you know, you were in the middle of it, like having, you know, being the one to interact on the social media, but then the people making a lot of the calls are the people that probably are not as into it. So they don't, so, you know, what you have to say about certain things happening, they're like, sure, like whatever, like they just see surface level, but you see it all. And so I think it's really interesting that you say that because I do think that that is a huge thing that we like the space has to keep in mind when it comes to people are like working their jobs. And like there is a very fine line between like what is okay and what isn't okay to post. But a lot of times like a company will literally just tell you like, yeah, like this would be funny, do it. And you're like, like this, I don't, you know? So
Yeah. I don't want people to see me and think of that job. So that was always really hard because I am that person. I do work at that job. but I'm
Yeah.
also not that person. I
Yeah.
don't know. I struggled with it for a really long time. It was really hard.
Yeah.
And like I still don't know how to. I mean, at least I have College Esports News, so I'm like happy to be that person. 'Cause I get to make the decisions and like
Yeah.
if there's something that we don't want to post and we don't post it, but
Yeah.
it's just like hard. No other job, not no other job, but most normal jobs are just not as online like that. So
Yeah.
that's
No,
very odd.
I completely agree. And kind of getting into what you had just said, like now you are, you run the show. And so I want to ask you what it's like being a director and sort of what you do in your position. And maybe I know, but we got to tell everybody else.
Yeah. Uh, okay. I'll probably say things that will be surprising, but just to go into my role, I founded College Esports News as we established, but even like directing and doing business strategy and stuff, I'm still also writing scripts for videos, downloading assets, editing videos. Um, I feel like I have to take a lot of responsibility, I guess, because we are all volunteers. So if like we don't have an editor, like an editor's busy with school or they can't do that, I'm feel like I can be the first one to be like, all right, I'll do it. Like that's fine. Yeah, whatever. Um, so I still do a lot of the boots on the ground stuff, if you will. Um, Other than that, I do a lot of stuff. I feel like can't name any of them right now for whatever reason.
It's okay.
I we I don't know. What do I do? I do a lot of partnership stuff, I guess. That's kind of a new aspect for me, being in these meetings and like talking to people and trying to get them on board with what we have created all together. Of course, I wouldn't be here without Ashton, Maria, Justin, Ziva, who all helped me create this because we all had just a piece that we were like extra good at. Like Ziva was extra good at social media, Justin was extra good at video editing, Maria's extra good at writing, Ashton is amazing with graphics, self-taught by the way.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah, self-taught.
Come
So
on.
my day-to-day, of course I have a full-time job, so my day-to-day technically from 9 to 5 is working at my job. Outside of those hours, I work on College Esports News stuff, merch, the website. I built the website myself.
That's insane. It looks
Overseeing
phenomenal.
people. Thank you. New changes are going to be pushed soon. I thought I pushed them yesterday, but they didn't get pushed, so.
Coming soon.
I'm self-taught web designer as well. And then I oversee all of our volunteers. So we have 50 plus volunteers from across the United States. We have some students from the University of Hawaii, which is really awesome. Love to shout them out because I feel like they're the furthest
Yeah.
volunteers that we have in distance wise. So that's really exciting. And I just try to keep everyone on track with all of our different projects and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you're killing it, and you're doing a phenomenal job on top of your full-time job that you do. And you just talked about all of the volunteers. So I just want to say, like, personally, for anyone who doesn't know that is tuning into this podcast, I am a volunteer for College Esports News. And, like, to be so honest, like, Sen was, like, the reason that I really got further into collegiate than I was kind of, like, trapped in, like, the bubble at my school, and it really wasn't until College Esports News that I actually like opened myself up to the industry, and is like part of the reason why I'm just like, oh, now I'm here to like this industry, this space is what I want to go to. And I think College Esports News opened my eyes to that, and I've gained so many new skills for my own toolkit, and I know that like if that's that way for me, then there must be a lot of other volunteers that feel the same way and like have gained hands-on experience working with College Esports News in their respective areas of interest. So like, do you think that's part of the magic that is College Esports News, is like all of these volunteers, like they're stepping into a lot of them are stepping into the industry, and you know they're killing it, but like they get this hands-on experience, and you've crafted such like a beautiful space for that.
I hope so. I feel like you're the first one who's like told me. So I think that's I think that's really awesome. I think we have a lot of people who are passionate and like want to do something, which is really exciting. And so we have a variety of students who with a variety of college esports knowledge as well. So we have people who are like, I don't watch esports. I just really like to edit videos. And it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You're welcome aboard.
Yeah.
I think people are getting a lot of hands-on experience. And I want to say something that we're always very adamant about is that we recognize that everyone's a volunteer. So your time is we try to be flexible because we understand people are busy working, school, etc. And so we try to be very flexible. And we only ask that that our volunteers contribute to at least 2 videos a month. And even still, we're very flexible on that as well. Yeah, I think it's giving people a lot of different skill sets because, I don't know, I don't want to say like the bar is low, but, we're the only ones creating this kind of content. So there's a lot of space for people who aren't as experienced to come in and get that experience. But then we also have space for people who are super experienced and we can get them to maybe make a video, like 1 video a month. And that's really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think everything that College Esports News does is so important. And I feel like, I don't even know, because I'm kind of new to the space and maybe you can talk more to this. I just feel like I've seen the collegiate esports community come together more because of some of the work that College Esports News has done. I just feel like maybe this is me just being like new to Twitter, but I just like the interaction that people like the conversations that College Esports News has started because of your work. I feel like I just feel like the community is really started to interact in a way that they did not before. And maybe you can speak to that or have seen that or haven't seen that.
Yeah, no, I think going back to when I first started in college esports, like 2019, social media, not that social media was different, it's just that college esports organizations utilize social media so differently, or they didn't utilize it at all. And so it was very much like focus on what you're doing, focus on making content for your organization, and maybe sometimes interact playfully with other schools.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the social media manager for esports at UCF, Luis, he got a bunch of the social media managers who were involved together in one Discord, and we had like a game night, and it was so awesome. It was so much fun. We would always have like some banter back and forth. It was a lot of Florida schools, as you could imagine, because we're all based in Florida at the time. But that was like the first kind of sense of community that I felt. But I think back then it was very focused on if you were in the college Rocket League space, you would be interacting with other college Rocket League people from any kind of school. But now it feels like we have Valorant players and Rocket League players interacting and like all these different parties coming together for either good or evil, I guess, with some of the breaking news graphics that we've had in the past month. 2 months, 3 months, I don't know. So I think we're seeing a lot of people come together because they have a space where they can see information about a variety of different leagues. So yeah, I guess we do kind of bring people together.
No, I mean, I really think you do. I mean, I also think I've seen like the collegiate esports space just booming recently. I think that like the attention on this section of the industry has been crazy. And I think that has a lot to do with like balancing and trying to figure out collegiate as the like stepping stone to pro instead of, you know what I'm saying? Just because so many people that go into the professional space don't even go to college or like are right out of high school or maybe didn't even go to high school because they were so young when they were like recruited to these teams. And I kind of want to ask you a little bit more about Stay Plugged In. If you can, explain Stay Plugged In and like maybe what you do also as like a digital media producer.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Stay Plugged In is the #1 recruiting platform for college esports. basically when I describe my job to other people, I say I help students get scholarships for competitive video games. So people know, some people don't know what esports is.
True.
And so we have helped students gain over $20 million in
Whoa.
scholarships, which is really exciting. Of course, I just run social media. A lot of that really impactful work of like actually helping students is Nick, or Suave. He is incredible. Won Community Ambassador of the Year in 2023 at the Esports U Awards.
Yes.
The company was built around him and his desire to help students in this way. And so the work that he's doing is incredible. I have the privilege of helping boost those stories and tell those stories on social media. I am the team's video editor, social media manager, social media strategist, copywriter, all of the above. Thankfully, I don't have to do graphic design because those skills are rusty. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
How did you get involved specifically with Stay Plugged In?
Yeah. So like I said, in October 2022, I lost my job. And so I posted a lot on social media saying, I'm looking for work. Please hire me. And I got reached out to by Kyle and Rick from Stay Plugged In. Back in 2020, I had actually done like a podcast with them, which was so random. Because I wasn't anything in 2020, really. I was looking for a job.
Stop it.
And so I had connected with them in the past, which is really awesome. And they were like, hey, we're looking for a digital media producer to join the team. And I was like, great, I have Adobe Premiere Pro and I'm ready to work.
Yes.
Twitter. Just Twitter, really.
I'm literally so glad that you say that, because I just feel like I talk about this a lot recently, that like just being on Twitter has changed my life. And I like can't stress enough to people, at least like in this space, that is just like the platform to, like, we talk about like LinkedIn and stuff like that and being professional on there, and Twitter's that sort of combination where it's like half formal, half informal. Like there is just like a balance that, you know, some people have private accounts, whatever, but like Twitter is like the place to be for esports. And even though it's like transitioned into X or whatever, and like some people are like left the platform, like we're still here. We are still, and like it's like something as simple as just like tweeting about a job, like being like, I'm looking for work. And the community just finds you and they're like, ah, yes. I got you. Do you sort of kind of going off of, you know, your work specifically with Stay Plugged In and you know, you believing in, you know, in what they're doing, and, you know, I mean, it's very similar to the same sort of mission, I think, that Sen has, you know what I'm saying? Working with students and things on that line. Do you feel that these spaces are critical to like creating the pathways with like education and gaming? Just because I had mentioned earlier, like sometimes people don't even go to school. They're just like they just like kickstart their career right out of like middle school, you know, and like, or right out of high school, and then like don't even think of collegiate as a space that they can go into because they don't know that there's opportunity there.
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
Yeah,
Sorry.
do you feel that these these spaces are really important when we talk about like collegiate being a pathway to pro?
Yeah, I think this might be controversial. I don't think college esports news would exist without Twitter. Like, I don't think and maybe that's just me being a social media manager, but I'm just like, I don't foresee any other way that it could exist without, like, be as big as it is without social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like sports are big, so like maybe, but sports are also big with social media, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Twitter is a very important tool that you can utilize, either to get a job or to find opportunities in general, scholarships, get involved. It's something that I recommend when I get to talk to students. I always say that Twitter is like a good space to learn about whatever colleges that you're looking at. You can go look at their esports Twitter account, see what they're
Yeah.
doing there. Not every college esports organization has a strong social media presence, but a lot do.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot more do now than in the past. So
Yeah.
it's a good resource for that. And there's a lot of people that you can meet on Twitter, which is really awesome. But also, if you're a student looking to get involved in college esports, be smart about what you post on social media. And
Yes.
what's that old saying? Something about if you wouldn't print it on the front of a newspaper, don't tweet it. I don't know, something like that. Don't post it on social media. I don't know. Everything stays on the internet forever. That is a true fact. So,
Yeah.
did that answer the question?
Yeah, no, 1,000%. I mean, just because it's like this, and I really wish I had someone to tell me, like, earlier in my collegiate esports career, like, get on Twitter, but don't make it like, because I do have a private Twitter, but like that's just like, you know, like it's like my name and I post about like the Phillies or whatever because I love the Phillies. But that was like my Twitter. Like when people are like, get yourself on Twitter, that's where the esports community is. I was like, okay. And I just didn't even like think to find the esports people. Like I was like, I can't find them. Like they're not there. Yeah, because I wasn't like actively like I was like following a couple of my friends and stuff. Like I was not clued in at all. And so it's like I wish I had someone being like, okay, like that, the Twitter you just created, that can be like your personal. But there's actually a world that you need to get into, and it's over here. It's a little bit further, you know? So I'm glad that we are talking about this so that anyone who hasn't made a Twitter can make a Twitter and get that esports collegiate scene going. I kind of want to switch gears a tiny bit and just sort of ask you a couple questions to think about, like obstacles in your life and things on projects you've worked on. Were there any obstacles that you feel that you have faced? You know, it could be in this industry or not. And if you have any tips or advice on like how you overcame those obstacles.
Yes. 1 second. I wish I took my meds because I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry.
Oh, okay. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
If we need another question, we can do another question.
No, it's okay. I think it's important. Obstacles. I've faced a lot of obstacles, both career-wise and also health-wise. Where do I want to go from here? I could go so many ways. What was the full question? Like, how did I overcome obstacles?
Yeah, and any advice that you could, you know, speak from that.
Yeah. Career-wise, like I talked about, I worked for an infamous company in college esports. And I talked about not being able to separate my identity. And that was really hard for me. But I guess something that I learned is that your career and job like doesn't define you and doesn't have to. So like I identify my career as like college esports news, and that's really exciting, but I'm also a person. I love to read, I love to listen to music, I have 2 cats. Like my identity can be whatever I want it to be. I also went through a good amount of health things throughout 2022 to honestly until about January of this year that were really tough. I still don't know exactly like why they happened. I assume stress related. It started when I was at that infamous esports company. It's an ongoing struggle. It's always been really hard. I guess just advocating for myself has been something that I've had to learn. Medically, advocating for yourself is really hard if people aren't going to listen to you or like get things done. Unfortunately, I've kind of had to make calling doctors' offices my like part-time job because I don't know, I guess when you think about slacking off on your own job, it's like whatever, I feel like. But when people are slacking off in their jobs, like when they're in the medical field, like that feels really annoying. So it kind of motivates me not to slack off at my job, blah, 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 something like that. Being sick is really hard, and I've never been sick in my entire life up until 2022. And so that was really hard, and that was an adjustment. And that also made me realize that, like, is this what I want to say? Also made me realize that sometimes your employer is not, I don't know, behind you as much as you wish they were. I think back to 2022 of my infamous old job where I was sitting in the hospital right about to go. It was either before or after a procedure I was going to have. And I got an email that was like, Sheridan, why didn't you send out the Friday email report that you always send out? I'm like, dude, you know I'm in the hospital. Like, what do you mean? And just like kind of having that hard realization that like bosses might not always be in your corner like that. And to not value careers that highly. Maybe this is not the not the words of advice that I want to be giving. Employers are all different, and some of them will support you and some of them won't. It's a hard truth that sometimes you have to learn the hard way. Yeah, so I guess how I got over obstacles, advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think that's actually, that's huge. That's so important. And that's not like, I mean, I've never straight up like heard that really being, said to me as like a piece of advice, but like I like can sit here and think like, oh, there's been instances where like I've sort of seen that coming into play. And so I think that that's so important that you said that. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. And especially with the treatment from someone that is in a higher up position and, forcing you to have to learn to advocate for yourself and learn that like, it is like that hard truth of like that there are people in certain positions like that, might, in their position aren't going to have your best interests and your health in mind. And that's why I always just want us to be kind. And I want us to like think that I remember that we're humans. I understand that there's like jobs that we have to do, but at the same time, I don't think a job is worth someone's health ever. And so I actually think that it's so important that you said that. And it's, a huge obstacle that you've, overcome and that you've pushed through. And, you still can continue to do so much in this space despite all that. So much respect for you and like props to you for that, because that's a battle. And so I appreciate you being upfront about, that sort of thing in this space. And then I want to ask also if there's any, I guess, skills or traits to be successful in like any of the positions that you hold in this space. So that could be, being a digital media producer, or it could be being a director. If there's any skills that you really think that like that are important to being successful in any position.
That's a good question. Skills. I think, I don't know if this is a traditional answer, but making time for yourself can be a skill. And giving yourself the space to step away from whatever you're working on. I find if I'm too involved that like I can just get into this mindset where I'm like, okay, I want to quit. I don't want to be done with this. Like, I don't want to continue this anymore. So giving yourself space and time is a skill, I feel. Advocating for yourself is always going to be something that I would say is a way to be successful. Because if you don't communicate and advocate for yourself, I'm also going to say like advocating for yourself can be like, hey, I'm in the hospital, I can't send this right now. But it can also be like, hey, College Esports News, like we're bringing in 3 million impressions in our first 4 months of this semester. This is why we're really great. Mm-hmm. It can be like both sides, which I think is really important, because some people like you need to advocate for yourself because they don't know those things, or they're mean and evil and you need to advocate for yourself. I don't know, both sides there.
Yeah, definitely.
And then always love a good work hard and be determined to just carve out whatever path you want for yourself.
Yeah.
I think I've been successful because I like to work hard and be determined to like complete a goal. I couldn't do all of it without like some sort of hard work aspect, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my skills and traits.
No, I think that's great. And kind of circling back to what you had said about giving yourself time and giving yourself like some space and separating yourself, I actually think that like that giving yourself time to do other things or to, you know, regenerate, that sort of stuff can actually like bring so much more creativity and so much more, you know, to your work. Like that's it's in those spaces that we actually like think of certain things that we've never thought of before, or be like, oh, actually this would be cool, you know what I'm saying? And so I think giving yourself that space is so important, so I'm glad you said that. And speaking a little bit more to like work-life balance, are there any hobbies that you have that can include gaming, if you want, but that you do in your free time when you are like taking a bit of a step back from everything else you're doing?
Yeah, yesterday I spent the entire day playing Minecraft. We started like a modded summer server.
Love.
So it's summer, so it's Minecraft time.
Real.
We'll play it for a few months and then we'll be done. Other than that, I really love to read. Big Kindle and audiobook user.
Yeah.
I love a physical book, but I can't read a physical book in the dark when I'm about to go to sleep.
Right. Yep.
Love to read. Love to listen to music and go to concerts.
Oh yeah, that's fun. Do you have a current favorite artist?
Of course I do. Chapel Roan is my number one. I love her. This corner of my room is dedicated to her.
Love it.
And it has like fan art and stuff. I love her so much.
I actually asked that question to get you to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
No, it's
I've
great.
never been a fan like this before. It's really odd. So I'm like, oh, okay, I have to sit down. I have to watch her Coachella set. Then I have to watch her second Coachella set. And it's like, I've never been a fan like this.
Really?
I have other artists that I love and I'm like dedicated to, where I'm like, I'll listen to every single thing that they put out, but I've never been a fan like this.
Yeah.
Sit down, have to watch a Coachella set, have to do that. They just streamed her Bonnaroo set on Hulu, so like I have to figure out how to watch that.
Yeah.
It's like a full-time job.
I mean,
but I love her so much.
She's great. So I completely respect. Like I totally get it, and seeing her sort of just rise to fame like this is crazy. Because I remember when she was opening for Olivia and all that sort of stuff, and people would, at least like at my school is very much in the like smaller artist scene. Like we really don't, like my school doesn't really care too much about the big artists. Like we're all about finding the smaller artists. And so like, you know, she had been talked about a lot, but then all of a sudden the world knows her name. And so it's been really cool to see her, kicking.
I love her so much. I could spend a whole podcast talking about her. I found her, I don't even care if you put this in or not. I found her in April 2022. Yeah. She had 3 songs out from her new era. She did have an old album. She had 3 songs out. I don't know if they're appropriate to say it on this podcast, but she had 3 songs out. And I got to see her live for the first time in March 2023. Okay. We were all packed into A&R Bar downtown Columbus. There were like 70 people there, all packed in. Loved it. Her album wasn't even out yet for her new era. So Amazing. We had this whole drought of not having any new Chapel Roan music. To her album coming out in September felt like a personal birthday gift to me. And then I got to see her again in October 2023. Yeah, that's correct. In Indianapolis. And then ever since Coachella, she's like blown up. It's incredible. I love what she's done for the LGBTQ plus community. She's a huge advocate for local queer spaces, which is really amazing. I just love her so much.
No, I love it. Wait, you also said, are you a September baby?
I am. September 16th. I have one of the most like common birthdays, I
Oh
think.
my God. No. Okay, you're a Virgo.
Of course.
My Virgo sister. Hello.
Nobody other than a Virgo could have started College Esports News, like let's be
That's
honest.
actually so true. Speak on it. I mean, that is actually so real. That's amazing. I love it. Love a fellow Virgo. And that you discovered Chapel like so early on. So I think that's, you were part of that original group.
So,
No, it's great.
this is not what this podcast is about, but I love her.
It's okay. Like, listen,
I want to start like a Stan Twitter account for the first time in my life. Like I want to do it.
you
But I
have
don't
to.
have time, so I can't.
Listen, I haven't been seeing enough fan pages these days. I used to have like a million fan pages. I'm ready for us to kick that back into gear. I'm ready for you to start a Stan Twitter account for Chapel. So to be fair, and then the last little section I want to do is a little thing we do. It's called Hot Seat. Like I said, these questions are not going to be so crazy because we're keeping it nice and simple. First question off the bat: does pineapple belong on pizza?
Sure.
Okay.
I won't eat it,
Okay.
but someone else can. I am all for anyone who wants pineapple on pizza.
Okay, but you wouldn't eat it yourself.
I mean, maybe if like that was the only option.
Okay.
Not that I hate it. It's just
It's just
not my preference.
not your preference. What is your preference?
I like a good classic cheese pizza.
Yeah, come on.
But recently, like ham and banana peppers.
Ooh,
So-
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Gonna have to give that one a try. If you were deserted on an island and you could only bring 3 things, what would you bring?
A Kindle.
Okay. Come on, reader.
Cat. Oh, my cat would hate it if I brought him to a deserted island, to be honest, but he's coming. Um, and I don't know. Sunglasses, sunscreen. I don't know. I burn really badly, so
I do too.
sunscreen's probably good option.
No, it's realistic. I love it. I would probably need to bring sunscreen too. If you could find a way to turn any game into an esport, what would it be and why? I know that's crazy.
Any game into an esport.
Listen, competitive Animal Crossing is my calling, so
Competitive Animal Crossing is certainly a thing. I would say Portal, but I feel like speedrunning community is like adjacent esports.
yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Minecraft, I don't know.
Listen,
I don't know what that would even be.
I mean,
I love the creeper in the background.
thank you.
I too have a creeper
Oh,
that holds my Animal Crossing cards.
that's amazing. That great. It's the Virgo in
My
us.
amiibo cards.
Oh, so cute. Oh,
The Hello
adorable.
Kitty set.
Oh, so cute. I hear you though. Listen, I love a good Bed Wars moment. Like I play Bed Wars.
Not about Bed Wars.
I play Bed Wars like it's no one's business. So I would really like to see that brought up to the big scene. And then, are you allergic to fruit?
No.
Okay, I just want
Should I be?
No, I just want to. There's a follow-up question, but I just want to make sure that like I don't ask someone like what fruit they would be and why if they're allergic, because that would be kind of I would feel bad.
Allergic people not be a fruit?
Well, they
Or
could
people,
be,
like,
but like
offended about
they could be, but like sometimes people like to talk about like how sweet the fruit is and how sweet they are, but it's like if they haven't had it or like they can
It's
have it,
valid.
you know what I'm saying? So, what fruit would you be and why?
Are we talking about like personality, like
You choose.
I really like strawberries.
Okay, love.
I just like how they look. I think they're cute.
Oh,
I think they also taste good, but
true. Come on.
they can also be like sweet, and sometimes if they're like not ripe yet, they can be a little sour, bitter
Ooh,
kinda. So
yeah.
that's kinda me.
I love it. No, I love that. And then, do you have a favorite video game? And then, like, a favorite esport? They can be the same thing, but, like, if you have a favorite video game, what is that? And then if you have a favorite esport title.
Without a doubt, Portal 2,
Okay.
best game of all time. If you haven't played it,
Love
you're
it.
missing out.
Missing out.
Esport, I unfortunately have to say Fortnite. It's not it's an esport that I like to play or esport that I like to watch. If it's play, then it's Fortnite. If it's watch, then obviously it has to be Rocket League. So
I love that. Listen, I do love playing some Fortnite, so I totally hear you. And then Rocket League to watch. Rocket League is fun to watch. It's just, for me, it's easy to follow, in comparison to like Overwatch, which I
I
love.
can't endorse watching Overwatch. I love playing Overwatch. I also can't endorse playing Overwatch either.
Real, neither can I. But thank you so much for being here today, Sheridan. It was so lovely to get to chat with you. Sheridan's social media can be found in the link below alongside all of the Cope socials, so make sure to check us out as we're always an available resource and have so much more fun content coming soon. I'm Friday. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I will see you all on the next episode of Catching Up with Cope.